We are live. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Simply Spooky with Vivian and Dan. And we're lucky to be on here, really, because we've had a couple of gremlins.
Had
the
some
audio's been
issues.
playing up, and then it wouldn't go live, and now it has. So hopefully we've put all that behind us. There are gremlins in the works, as is expected. Good evening, Viv.
Hello, Dan. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Yourself?
Oh, I'm knackered. It's these January blues, I'm calling it.
Yeah, it's
January
definitely
blues.
January blues. It's not the most. It's quite a depressing month, and it seems to be dragging now. To be honest with you, but let's see if we can. We're going to make it even. We're going to make the month and the season even darker now, because I think tonight we're going to talk about various subjects. But I think the main topic will be, or we'll be going across from things like
season even darker now.
Oh.
That was you. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm sharing it.
People that share like people that fake evidence, like a lot of these YouTube channels. Hi, Chantal.
Hi,
Hope
Chantal.
you're good. Hope you're all good. Yeah. So I'd like to talk tonight about a lot of these YouTube channels where I would think most of them, where clearly it seems that a lot of it is fakery. So, for example, I've heard people. They've done EVPs when they've been doing vigils, and they played the EVPs back. And I said, "Did you hear this?" And it's clearly their voice. It's clearly their voice. Yeah. There's one in particular I've seen do that on many an occasion. Hi, Jacqueline. Also, I did start out initially. Excellent, Chantal. I did start out initially watching like everybody. Used to watch a lot of the paranormal programming on TV, but a lot of it's trash, nonsense. So that kind of fell by the way. So I don't watch any of that now. None at all. And then I started watching YouTubers. And there were quite a few that I initially watched. But now I don't watch any.
Do you think that all these YouTubers, they're not proper ghost hunters though, are they? Some of them are just like urban explorers, aren't they? I could name a few, but I'm not going to. Yeah. But they're just in it to create content and I don't know, monetize it.
The thing that really annoys me is that you and I go out there, we do our investigations, we put up what we get on YouTube.
Yeah.
And you know what you get with us is honesty. We don't fake anything. We don't add anything. If we misinterpret something, we were the first to say we misinterpret it. We check every avenue out before we consider it to be palatable for the public, before we can put it up on YouTube. Because the thing is, it's just going to come back on us. And as professionals, as people have been doing it for a long time, we don't want it to be professional, but we don't want it to come back on us. No. I think the problem with a lot of these YouTube channels, I know people say, "Oh, well, you know, it's just entertainment. It's just this and it's just that," which is fine. But they're not parading it as entertainment. They're parading it as a bona fide paranormal investigation.
Yeah, that is
true. And what that does, you know yourself, if you've been doing it for many years like me, it's really, really hard to put the truth across when you've got people like that clouding the waters. They just muddy the waters. Mm-hmm. And then it just confuses people. For example, if I wasn't a paranormal investigator and I watched a couple of those channels, and I got wise to it, I would think that the whole circuit was nonsense. That all of the paranormal was nonsense and ridiculous. You know, it'd take an awful lot to convince me back into the fold of being a skeptic, but you know, sort of semi-skeptic, semi-believer type thing. And that's what they're doing. They're just making it harder and harder for the real teams that are out there. And of course, people watch these programs, think it's real, then they watch us, and because we don't pull things out the hat left, right, and centre, we consider, you know, they won't sub to us, or they're not interested in us, or, you know. Hiya, Lois. Hope you're good.
Hope you're good, and good luck with college.
Oh, yeah, good luck with that. Excellent. Yeah. Good luck with that, Lois. So, so that's where I'm at the minute. I mean, that's just one of the gripes I've got.
So I've got a big gripe with, and I've seen paranormal investigators that I would call seasoned. I have seen paranormal investigators fake their own, things that they get. So, for example, we're going to talk about EVPs, or they're scratching the back of the little
mic.
voice record. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're scratching that, and they're playing it back, and they're making out that they've got this big EVP, and it's all well and good, or they're interpreting. I don't know
Interpretating.
I can't.
You're right.
I don't know what's wrong with me, mate.
I think you're right. I think
But
you're
they're
right.
interpreting.
Interpreting.
Yeah, interpreting just basic noises that you can explain for something paranormal. That's another thing. And they know that they're doing this. This is what really annoys me. And or with a K2.
Yeah.
They'll fake.
Which is quite easily manipulated, isn't it?
Oh yes. They'll fake the lights going up and down, which is easily done. So I mean, for me, and if you have equipment, as a paranormal investigator, you investigate the negatives on it first. You've got to understand the piece of equipment that you use. And what the K2 is the worst piece of equipment to be able to fake all those lights flashing up to red. So simple. And yet I'm seeing these paranormal investigators doing exactly that. And they're duping these newbies that come in that want to learn. Oh, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. These are the set rules that you've got to follow. You've got to buy a K2. And I'm watching that. And, do you know what, Dan? A couple of times I have wanted to walk away because of the fakery that goes on within the paranormal. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
It's hard enough, isn't it, trying to get evidence as it is. It doesn't just fall out of the sky. It might come along once in a blue moon, a really good bit that you can scrutinise and go through and then produce it for public scrutiny. But it just drives me up. Thing is, some groups are paid subscribers, and I think it's a way for some groups to keep those subscribers.
Yeah.
No, I think that is right, Chantel. But that
is true.
What I'm trying to say is that it's annoying from a proper paranormal investigator's point of view.
Joanne.
Hi, you, Joanne. Hope you're well. From a proper paranormal investigator's point of view, it's hard. Well, do you know what? That's a good point there, Jacqueline, because there's one guy that I saw on TV a few years ago, renowned, and this was mainstream TV, renowned paranormal investigator, and he was doing this project that they were doing on a farm somewhere, and I think they invited the public along, and they were just doing I think it was a Halloween thing, and he had a K2, and the K2 was on the table, and he moved past, and the K2 lit up. And rather than scrutinise the action that the K2 had taken, rather than scrutinise it and look at different perspectives as to what would have caused it, he jumped in and went, and this is what really annoyed me, that's a ghost.
I've seen so many do that.
That's a ghost. I'm sorry, how could that be a ghost? You don't know if it's a ghost. But it was unintentional fakery, because he was standing next to it with his phone in his hand. And every time he got close to it, moved away, it went off. And so, of course, but he didn't click. These are people that are TV programs and companies are putting up as reputable, but haven't got the basic idea of what they're doing.
Yeah.
Guys, we better how they get stars. I think these guys are brilliant. It's fake as you do. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Lois. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it drives me mad.
But
it
you
does
know
drive
what,
me
Dan?
mad.
In response to that just now, I find that it's people get abuse if you shout out fake or whatever, but that is right across the board within the paranormal. Now you get certain cliques, certain groups, and if you sit outside their peripheral and you're not one of these people that scream, shout, and threaten everybody, the same thing will happen there. Even with smaller paranormal groups, they have their own cliques and it's just ridiculous. And you call somebody out.
Exactly. And this is why you and I. Hi,
you're called a bully. Hi, Dean.
Hope you're well, Dean. And this is why you and I. Hi, Jacqueline. Oh, we did Jacqueline, didn't we? Hope you're well, Jacqueline. I like static cameras set up overnight in a certain place. I love the cameras at Accrington.
Yeah.
Yeah, statics are pretty cool. Statics are pretty cool. Yeah, same here, Dean. Exactly, same here. And it goes many months and years in between investigations before I get another credible bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
you know, the TV programs, they do it to make their programs interesting.
They have to.
I won't knock them completely. And this is the reason why. Yes, all of them. There is not one of them. They are all faking evidence. Every single one of them. I don't care what you say, they are.
I agree.
That's entertainment.
I
But
agree.
if it weren't for these TV programs, a lot of you guys, not necessarily me, because I've been, my story's a little bit different. But anyway, because of these TV programs, and I'll admit that I used to watch Most Haunted religiously. You see what they're doing, and because of the likes of Ghost Adventures or Most Haunted, people are going out and taking up paranormal investigating. And for that, we cannot knock them completely because they've shown people another interest, another hobby, and they've brought it to the forefront.
But I sometimes wonder if that's a double-edged sword, though, Viv. Because I think to myself, yeah, it's good in a way, but then in another way, they're sending people out there with the wrong information, not knowing what they're doing, copying them, and then flooding the market with a load of false evidence. Even though, and then it makes it hard for people like us. Then we get lost in the melee. And if you go back to the 1930s, 1940s, when you had people like, well, actually, what's the name was about one the other day was a perfect example. You had Harry Price, my hero, and there was, I can't think of the other chap's name.
Maurice Grosse.
No, well, not even Maurice Grosse, really, back in the sort of 70s.
He's my hero.
The market wasn't flooded,
No.
was it, with paranormal investigators?
No.
So you could guarantee, or not guarantee, but you could see that the evidence that they got was credible because, people weren't interested, not to the degree that they are today. Oh, excellent. Yeah, very good. Thanks, Dean. Very good, mate. Thank you. Yeah, exactly, Lois. It is all about money. It's all about chasing money. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think, sadly, that some of them start off with the right intentions. Hi, Beverly. Hope you're good.
She's lovely, Beverly is.
She is. And I think that they may start off with the good intentions, a lot of these TV programs. But then, of course, once they sign up, they sign into a contract.
Yeah.
Then, of course, they've got to be producing evidence. Oh, it's good now. It's not good, but it's getting there. Thanks, Lois.
It just called him hop along.
Bless you. Yeah. And that's the thing, isn't it? Once they sign up a contract, they've got to produce activity.
Dan, I know a couple of people, because you know that I go over to the States quite a lot. And I know a couple of people that were on a TV program, and it started out credible, and then according to them, producers started shouting up and jumping up and down. They wanted more viewers, and they talked about fakery. So 2 of the guys walked away, and subsequently I think the TV show folded. But there's not many people as individuals that would walk away from money like that. Now, they were on mainstream TV. They were on every week. I think they did 1 or 2 series of the program. And these 2 guys, they walked. And because of their integrity and what they wanted to do going forward. But there is not many people that would do that because they see the moolah and would take the moolah.
Exactly. And I agree with you. They do exactly that. But I think that you and I have been doing it for so long that there's no way for any amount of money that we would falsify any evidence, or because at the end of the day, when that money goes, when that contract runs out, when you're on the back foot and, scrabbling around, not only is the money gone, but your integrity's gone and people's belief in you.
Like Most Haunted has.
You'll never get viewed. You'll never get viewed, or you never get showcased as a paranormal investigator again. And if you are, it'll be like, look at that line, so-and-so. It's not worth it. It's not worth it because your integrity is worth far more than any amount of money.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
Too many people at a venue. Oh, we'll get on to that one in a minute.
Yes,
Bev.
we'll get on to that, Beverly.
Oh,
Get onto that, the venues.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. No, you're right. You're right, Lois. You're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right. I agree with you. And that is the thing. A lot of them do end up getting big heads. You know, I mean, good luck to you. If that's the route you want to take, good luck to you. You do all power to your elbow, as they say.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you can't then. You're swapping your integrity for fame and money, and I don't think any amount of fame or money is worth your integrity.
Dan,
that's what they do.
I want to move slightly on to everybody's a medium. So
I'm not. I'm
I
a 3XL.
So I want
No,
to
I'm
move
definitely
on.
not.
So right now, okay. And that brings me also into the event companies. So they have far too many people on an event company. And of course, they've got the obligatory medium there. I'm just a bit so pissed off.
Yeah.
That there are so many mediums. Now, don't get me wrong. You get sensitives. And when you've been investigating for so long, people become sensitive. They're acclimatized to hearing, sound, seeing stuff, little shadow, that sort of thing. But mediumship, really, come on. It takes years. I mean, I'm what they call a natural medium. So I've been seeing spirits since I was very young. But it took me, I had to go into training, Dan. I had to go and sit in a circle and work through the churches. I had to have training to understand meanings, symbolism, working with guides, where the information was coming from, understanding what symbolic messages were. There's a lot of hard work that goes into mediumship, okay? And if you stop working with your mediumship, you tend to lose a little bit. You get a little bit rusty. So you have to keep on top of stuff. So when I see these people jump out of nowhere and they're suddenly a medium, I get very, very... I'm a bit... put out by it, because even though I'm a natural medium, I've still had to work. I've still had to understand what certain things are, and it takes a lot of dedication.
Yeah.
And paranormal mediumship is different from normal giving people readings. It's completely different.
Yeah.
So everyone's a medium. That honestly, I'm not kidding you, Dan. I've seen people talking with black smoke coming out of their mouth. I have got a list as tall as this house of people that I've seen with the black smoke coming out of their mouth, claiming to be mediums. And I just stay away. When they're working as mediumship, I shut my mouth. I stay away from them and say nothing, because I know that they're telling lies, Dan. It just winds me up.
Do you know what? And I think this is part of that double-edged sword, isn't it, with TV programming? And I'm going to go out there on a limb a bit, because there is a guy out there that was discredited. They tried to discredit him. I think they did this. He started out, and I believe that he was a genuine article, and that's Derek Acorah.
Right. Yeah.
I do believe that man was the genuine article. God rest his soul. And I think that what happened was he got bullied and pushed into a corner to produce evidence or produce material where it wasn't. And of course, it's a game. Once you sign up to something with somebody, otherwise you'll end up in a court of law, and it could just, And I think that he got to the point maybe where he didn't want to, and then they set him up. I'm not sure. I can't really say what the
I know about that.
Right?
I know what you mean. I know a little bit about that.
I think that they see people like him, who I think he was a bloody good medium, and they see people like him, and then they automatically, hang on. So these images are getting in my head, and these thoughts are getting in my head. Must mean that I'm a medium. They must be coming from the spirit world. Newsflash: everybody gets images, and everybody gets thoughts in their head. It's called being sentient. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean you're getting it
Yeah.
from the spirit world. And that annoys me. And there was a prime example. I did an investigation once. There was a young lady, and she, yeah, exactly, dude. It does take years. And she turned around to me one day, and she got involved with the team that I was involved with. And she said, "Oh, you know," she came out. I want to promote you. I'm a promoter. I want to get you on TV. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do. And we said, look, that's not really a route we want to take, to be honest. If we go, we want to do it under our own steam, and we want to be able to put down what happens. And if nothing happens, nothing happens. You know, that's what we want. No, I can do this. I can do that. So anyway, ching, 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 ching. You can see the pound notes in her eyes, the signs. And I said, okay, we'll come out an investigation one night. I've got this church. It's very active, or it has been, and hopefully we'll get some activity there. So we went there, and there was a guy I used to work with who was a proper medium, genuine medium, good medium, you know, like you, honest, straight to the diet. And anyway, we did an investigation. At the end of the night, she walked over to her car, said good night to us, and I said, "Oh, okay, good night, Sarah. Say Sarah. Good night, Sarah." And she went, "Yeah." She went, "Dan." She went, "I'm a medium, and I'm going to start practicing." And I'm not even lying. And I would, you know, when you're so shocked, you go, "Okay," and you're like somebody's left you there with a slap. You've been slapped with a bit of wet fish.
Yeah.
You turn around and I said, "How long have you been a medium then?" She went, "I decided today. I decided today."
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I decided today. And then.
So Lois, just quickly, there is a big difference. There is a big difference between psychics and mediums. Okay, they're not the same thing. I wonder if anyone in the chat could tell me what the difference is between a psychic and a medium. Go on, carry on, Dan. What was you saying? While we're waiting for that.
And that's what it was. How long have you been a medium? I decided today. But there's no answer to that, is there? It's like,
no.
And then I found out through the grapevine that she was actually trading as a medium.
Really?
Yeah. And then my friend, who was a medium, he went to one of these psychic fairs where she was giving readings, and he said everything she came out with, Dan, was generic, and it was crap, and it was just nothing personal, but it was like one suit fits everybody.
Yeah.
And he said, and I thought, you're cold reading. You're not even really cold reading. You're just coming out with crap that anybody can subscribe to.
Do you know what makes me laugh? Do you know what makes me laugh, Dan, is as well, you get these people that say that I'm a sensitive, and you think, okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you might be sensitive or an empath or whatever you want to call it. And yet you'll see them on a ghost hunt or an investigation, and all of a sudden they're doing all this mediumship. Well, if you're a sensitive or an empath, you won't.
No.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm thinking,
and I'm definitely not a sensitive empath. I spoke to a spirit for 20 minutes and I didn't realise it was a spirit. Do you remember?
I just think, oh God, yeah.
I know.
I want to get back to Lois's thing. She's saying that she worked with good psychics and horrible psychics. I worked with one psychic. The way she spoke to spirit was disgusting. So I'm going to just quickly come in with that because when you are on an event, you should be good. Mind your P's and Q's, manners to everyone, good, living, dead, whatever. That's just having good manners. When I'm working with a spirit, and I'll hold my hands up, right? I'm guilty of this, and you'll see why for a minute. I was horrible and disgusting to spirit because I was called to a house where spirit was interfering with children, and it transpires through work and dedication and research that the spirit, the previous homeowner, was a paedophile who died in prison and had come back to his home after death and saw the children there. And so in that instance, I'm not going to be nice to that spirit. I'm not going. And what we found in the house that was awful. We found other stuff all relating to it. Anyway, it was resolved. But in those instances, no, I'm not going to be nice, and I will speak to that scum like it was a piece of shit on earth as it was in spirit, because it was still doing the same thing. So depending on the situations, it's just like having manners and you know, having your free will and common sense, basically. But I wouldn't go into a venue and start,
No,
you know,
shouting the
with a
odds.
no, you just wouldn't do that. That is
No,
just bad manners.
yeah,
And it shows me that they have no mediumistic skills in any way, shape, or form, and that is just all ego.
yeah, yeah. It is. It is. You
Does that
know.
make sense?
Yeah,
You know,
completely. It is.
there is a space, or there is a time when you use language and you are not nice, okay? And there is times, well, most of the time, if not all of the time, you should be pleasant and polite. But I'm not saying that you need to be polite to spirit all the time. There are
Instances.
instances when it's called for. Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
yeah, completely. Yeah,
I hope that
completely.
makes sense to you as well, Lois, if you know what I mean. I'm such a gobby cow,
And
man.
that's it, isn't it? That's the thing. But you know, it's so many. Hiya, Terry. Hope you're good, mate.
What's
Um,
tonight's theme?
tonight's theme is bitching.
Right.
No, we're moaning about TV programming, and we're moaning about.
Fakery.
Hiya,
If
Mark. Hope you're good.
does a psychic pick up on feelings? A
Sensitive, is
psychic,
it?
right? I tell you what a psychic is, Mark, because people don't know the difference between a psychic and a medium. A psychic uses tools. A psychic will use a crystal ball, tarot cards, dowsing crystal, Ouija board, you know, that sort of thing, and they read those. That's what a psychic does. A medium is an interpreter. Yeah? Does a psychic pick up on feelings? They might do. They might be a bit sensitive and empathic, but doesn't necessarily mean that because you're getting feelings, you could describe the feelings that you feel. Doesn't mean you're a medium. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, Dan?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. So, well, that's entirely different from this one. Was just flat out rude. Yeah, no, there's no need for that, Lois. There's no need
Do you know,
to be
Lois, you
rude.
should have
No,
honestly kicked her ass out.
no.
Or
I always say the thing is that if there was a paranormal investigator out there, hi,
paranormal
paranormal
consult.
consultant. I hope you're all well and good. If there was a paranormal investigator out there that spoke ruthlessly and horribly to my grandfather, who was in spirit, I wouldn't like that. So there's no reason I should do it. Just treat everybody like you treat a normal man in the street. You know, just be
Excellent.
polite
Yeah.
and considerate.
That is blown away. Oh, she's brilliant. I believe there's too much entertainment in the paranormal
Yeah, there
world
is,
at the
Bri.
moment.
There is, Bri. There definitely is far too much. And I think it's overtaken the real topic, hasn't it? It's sort of left it in the dust, really. And there's so much rubbish out there that we've been fighting through, and then they add
Yeah,
to it by coming out with
but
these.
Dan, I even like, look, I'm blaming social media, right? Okay, so it's TV, social media platforms, everything, because it's too accessible now. I mean, look at these podcasts. Plagiarism now. Bri, bless him, he says that he was talking about this sort of thing not that long ago. I've known shows to be copied.
Yeah, and experiments.
Oh God,
And
don't
you've
get
got a
me
cracking story
started
about
on
that,
that.
haven't you? Prime example of that.
Right, let's talk about the experiment. Now, I did a telephone experiment because I was told that I should put my phone on flight mode because it would mess with an investigation. It was my bloody investigation, right? So I said, no, I am not putting my phone on flight mode. I'm going to ring the dead, which is exactly what I did. But because the results were fantastic, and they were.
They were
Because
great.
not only was I speaking to spirit through a telephone, we also had the TV going in the background in that spirit's room, as though he was alive, you know. And he even turned the TV down when I asked him to. So anyway, regardless, that was videoed, and this person, oh, you know, let me share. So I said, okay, you know, not a problem. You want me to send this to you? I'll send it to you. And then they started plagiarizing that as their own work because it was something fantastic.
Didn't they even put it
And
on their own site, Viv,
they put it on their own
and promoted
site,
it as their experiment and
their experiment, and they were, because they were, let's say, being the caretaker for a venue, they were getting other paranormal teams in, telling them how fantastic this thing was, which it was, but it was his experiment, and he was getting every other team to do it, you know, telling the ins and outs. And he didn't know what went on behind the scenes. He
no.
didn't know the guy that I was doing it with. He went and rang, you know, the phone networks. He tried to get a rational answer for what actually happened. You know, and there was a lot of experimentation that happened after the fact. But yeah, he plagiarized that as his own work, and it certainly wasn't. Yeah, he did get a flea in his ear, and he was told, you
And
know,
that's
with
a theme that
certain
I've seen.
terms.
That's a theme I've seen time and time again with certain personalities in the field, as it were. Hiya, Bill. I hope you're good.
Peace, brother.
Hey. Yeah, that's the thing that I've seen sort of repeated time and time again in the field, and it makes it very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
That's rubbish, Terry. She's a fraud,
I
if
wonder what
that's
she
the
meant by
case.
that. Close to the
Yeah.
spirit realm.
Well, you were going to die.
Well, take
Have
it
a good
easy,
night.
and Lois, have a good week.
Take care.
Take care. Take care. Yeah. So yeah, that was. I mean, that's, you know, as I say, that's a thread that seems to run right through the paranormal, and you know, not just for that, but lots of things people seem to plagiarize.
Recently, Dan, I saw somebody last year. He released a book about a incident involving a ghost, a replay of a ghost on the side of the road, and made a big thing and put it all out there, my new book, and just shoved it everywhere. But when I went and researched the actual incident, somebody else had written that book about 30 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know whether that person, because I just refused to buy that book then. I didn't know whether that person had put an acknowledgement in there from the original storyteller and the writer, but he certainly made out that he was the one that had investigated this claim and interviewed witnesses, and I just thought, you know what, you plagiarized that book. I just didn't want anything to do with it.
No. It's and these are just a couple of the contentions in the field, aren't they? Really. I mean, it goes a lot deeper than that, right the way across the board. Whatever you do,
I'll read
whatever
for you, Terry. I'll read you. I'll do it for you.
Whatever you do, whatever aspect you choose to take in this field, whatever element you choose to do, someone's going to be there to try and nick it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's
a
lot of
common
books,
thing.
Terry.
It's common, isn't it?
Do it with a lot of books. I mean, prime example is you've only got to pick up one of these ghost books, localized ghost book, Haunted Hertfordshire, Haunted Bedfordshire, Haunted Cambridgeshire, Haunted Northumberland. The stories are exactly the same in the book. Each book has the same story running through it. They split the words, change it about a bit, but it's the same story. Anybody can do that. I can sit at home, get a couple of books, go through it, go, oh, that's interesting. I'll put that in my book. And then a story from another book and another. And then you're replicating it. It's
Yeah.
just complete and utter dishonesty. And it's awful. It's awful, you know?
Why do people feel the need to do that, Dan, though? Because, like, you know, put a little bit of hard work and effort in.
Yeah, but that's it, isn't it? Hard work and effort.
Do your own, you know, through your own experiences, go out and see these places. Just, you know, just be mindful.
Yeah.
What is wrong?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
That is it.
Been a psychic
Yeah,
all
exactly,
my life.
Bri.
You're a medium, Bri. And as medium, I suppose you can use the psychic levels as well, but you are medium.
But that's exactly it, Bri. That's right. And it's just a shame that there aren't a few more people out there like that.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, haven't you, Bill? Haven't you, Bill?
Do you know what? I have a saying, don't I, Dan? People are see you next Tuesdays.
Yes. It's true as well with a lot of them. There's a lot of lovely people out there, but mostly there's arseholes.
You know, I despair. So brings us to my next subject, Dan. Fakery and paranormal equipment. People that sell or say that they're selling equipment that aren't. Do you want to start off with that one?
No, you go ahead with that one. You kick it off.
So I've noticed more and more, and especially on Facebook, people selling pieces of equipment. Get this Ovilus 3, only $100. Really? Oh, come off it. You know, I spot a forgery and a faker when I see it, but a lot of people are falling susceptible to it. And I am going to mention this man's name, Mr. Bloody Tanner, who has a website, says he makes all this equipment, takes your money, because you have to pay up front, you know, take your money, and then we'll sit on it and say, oh yeah, it's being made as we speak. And then the thing never arrives.
Nothing materialises, yeah.
No. And yet these people get away with it. You know, they used to run paranormal groups. They shut their paranormal group down, start up a new one. Oh, and more and more. And even some guys in the States, I've seen people selling bits of equipment that are non-existent. You know, they want $200 for an EDI meter that they haven't got. Yet they'll send you a video. Here it is in full working order. Send me this money.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
It is. When you know, I mean, the thing that annoys me as well is that a lot of this equipment that is in the material world, that is on the market, isn't fit for use. A lot of it, I don't think. You know. You know. Thank you, paranormal consultant.
Oh, we'd love to be on your show, paranormal consultant.
We'd love
anytime.
Love to. Anytime you want us on, we'd be more than happy. Definitely. Thank you.
Find us on Facebook. I'm Vivian Powell, and that's
Dan Winters or Winter.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I can sell you a demon detector. No, that's called Zach Bagans. Oops, did I say that?
Well, there was a guy used to work with him. He made this concoction. It was some liquid. I don't know. He'd made it and he swore that he'd researched and he got all the right. And it was getting rid of demons. And we nicknamed it Demon Begone. And we just used to rip the piss out of him. But this is the thing. People produce this with no research and then they float it on the market to sell it. You know,
and someone somewhere will buy it.
I don't know anybody somewhere will buy a K2 meter in this field, but a K2 meter I don't think is fit for purpose most of the time.
No, it's not.
You know, there's so many things that can set it off.
Mark, I'll buy it from you next time I see you. I might snatch it and run. I'm the original demon.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, when you think that we only see a small window of the scope of things that are out there, light and what have you, UV, and even audio, you know.
Right, go on. Mention the name. We don't mind.
No, we don't mind, because if you deal with them, then that's great.
That sounds like a phantom too. The phantom comes out of Dan's bottom
It does.
when he's
It
had a
does,
good
especially after I've
curry.
had Christmas dinner with the old Buffy.
Let me see if I can find. I'll try and find you.
Yeah,
Hang
that'd be
on.
great, paranormal consultant. Where are you? Are you in the States or are you over here?
I do like Ghost Adventures. I do like it for the entertainment, and I like looking at Aaron Goodwin. I won't lie.
I just
I
like
like
Aaron Goodwin.
I do like a bit of rough. He would be my toy boy. If I could have a toy boy, that would be him.
He's quite a tall fella, isn't he? He looks quite a tall fella.
I don't know.
He looks quite tall. Mind you, I don't know how big Zach Bagans is, to be honest.
I shouldn't
I mean,
say
he might
this,
be a
but
little
I'm
arse, short
I'm gonna
arse, I don't
say
know.
this. I'm gonna say this, and it's so rude and so naughty. So cover your ears if you don't want to hear it. You're all the same length when you're horizontal.
That is true.
That's all I can say.
That is true. That is very true. Have you B&E Brent now paranormal equipment made by him? Excellent. Thanks for that, Bill. Thank you for that.
I know him.
Excellent.
And he is I can tell you that he did defraud people of money. If you want a conversation about that, Bill, we can have it off air.
Oh, did he?
Just be careful.
See, they're all at it, aren't they? They're all
They are. Paranormal consultant.
Yeah, it's Demon Adventures, it is. You would think it was Demon Adventures Paranormal Consultant. You would definitely think it was, because that's all he comes across. Apparently.
Demon Adventures. He's Zach Demon Bagans, that's his name.
Zach the Demon Bagans. He's made enough money out of it, isn't he? Oh, excellent. Excellent. Good man.
Yeah.
I don't think she's alone, taste. Terry. There's loads of women love him.
Pennsylvania,
nice.
Yeah, you're lucky, Wild Bill. Yeah,
I'm like you, Brian. I've bought tons and tons of paranormal kit over the years, and most of it I've moved on because it's really not been fit for purpose. It's just been nonsense. And of course, the thing is as well, a lot of this equipment you can buy from an electrical store, and yet they'll sell it. I'll tell you a good example. You know them cat balls that you can buy that have got a button on them, and if the button touches the ground, it lights up and it moves. They're little plastic things. I think you can get like about 3 of them for £2, $4 out of the shops, and they are advertising on eBay now as paranormal trigger objects, and they're charging £15 for 2. So it's it's crazy. There are so many people, as they say, falling his money are soon parted.
I've just sent you a message, Matt.
Oh, thanks, Matt.
I just saw a paranormal consultant. Typically, it replies within an hour. That's good. Not like us.
He's here now, isn't he?
So the equipment thing. I go to reputable ghost hunter stores. I do use Bill Chappell. He's like top end expensive stuff. But when that's as and when I'm able to, and he's also always available to message and to chat and to talk, about my piece of equipment if I need to, if I've got any technical questions, which is why I love that man.
I think the thing with Bill Viv as well is that his stuff is made for purpose. Yes. He's researched that. He's done a lot of digging to get to the bottom of it, and he's got an objective as to why that he's created that.
Yeah,
like the Mel meter and stuff like that. And he does make some great stuff. Exactly, Bill. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, Brian. Definitely.
Oh, right, hang on, Matt. I'll go back to the phone. Oh, dear. I'm terrible.
So
I
yeah,
am.
so that's it really. I mean, anything else you want to chat about, Viv?
Yes, paranormal bullying. Bullying in the paranormal.
Yes, far too
I
much
know
of it.
it's not really fakery, is it? But it's
No,
still
no, no. But
something that's
it's a problem.
definitely a problem. I can't see it, Matt,
I
but
think there's
I'll come back
more
to it.
paranormal bullying now, bullying within the paranormal world, than there was 10 years ago. I think, and it was bad enough then, but it's got exponentially worse now. And there's no need for it. There's just no need for it, you know? What's your
Right.
feelings on it, Viv?
So, if you have an opinion and you put it on Facebook, you're bullied. If you put in up a picture, okay, so I'm not a believer of orbs. I can describe about 99.9% of what orbs are. Okay, there's that 0.5% that I can't. But I can explain them. But if somebody else is putting that on there, and this is where my counselling comes into play. Somebody's got their grandkid or daughter, whatever, in a living room, dancing around with all these dust orbs flying around, and they're talking about spirit. I do not feel it's down to me to go on there and say, no, that's just dust. You haven't hoovered your room or blah, blah, blah. It's say nothing. Let her have that. Let her think that that's her dear departed husband, grandma, grandpa, whatever, come to play with their daughter. I don't see the harm in it. It's just a hobby. You're not the expert, and she's not come to you for expert advice. She just wants confirmation from someone that their dear departed loved one's okay and doing fine, in heaven, whatever. People don't realise that behind the people that are doing this, they might be going through grief. That
Real person.
death in the family might have happened that day, yesterday, last week. Who knows? You don't know what's going on in that person's mind, or what's going on in their life at that time. So I get very upset and angry with people that, that's just dust. Yes, it is dust. But you don't know what's going on behind that.
No.
We're not saying it's spirit. Spirit might have been in that room at that point. You're not the medium that was there to see it and to make that connection and to know what the messages were about. But I get very upset with people that rather than say something rude, say nothing at all.
Yeah, exactly.
You just keep scrolling by.
Exactly.
You don't need to be the expert that you think that you are in this field.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And there's a lot of that goes on as well, and there's a lot of bullying of particular paranormal investigators or particular teams, which is, to be honest, it and this is why. What did Mark say? Sorry, Viv, what was that?
It is bad.
I think
in
it's
other
all
countries.
over the world.
Yeah, it's all over.
It's global. Because irrespective of where you go, people are people. So you will get nice people and you get arseholes. Yeah. Yeah. And we see it,
Do you know what?
Excellent.
I want to bring in bullying of other teams. Now, I see on certain sites the same names over and over again.
Well, there's one particular person who, if they topped themselves, if they took their life, it wouldn't surprise me.
Right.
Because I think it's got to that point now. And the thing is, they are the same as I do.
Yeah.
And these are people that purport to be anti-bully. These are people that are shouting from the rooftops, bullying's evil, bullying's this, bullying's, but they don't have the irony. The irony is that they are the bullies. They are the bullies, yeah. They don't see it.
I mean, to keep prodding, and it's like a number of people. It's like it might have started out with one or two people, and it escalated. It turned into a witch hunt, and regardless of whether you think what he's doing is right or wrong, it doesn't hurt you. It's got nothing to do with you. Leave the guy alone. Let him get on with what he's got to do.
Yeah,
You concentrate
yeah,
on what you've got to do. Leave him alone.
yeah.
There is just no need for it. And I hear that this guy's bringing the paranormal world to its knees, and he's giving paranormal investigators a bad name. No, he's not, because he's
No,
not a paranormal investigator, for one.
no.
And if people want to go to him for readings or do whatever, or Reiki or whatever that they're doing, so what? Who cares? Do you know what, Dan? If I choose to go on Patreon and pay somebody
That's your business.
£5, £8 a
Your
month
business.
to watch what extra subs, or to watch what they're doing, that's my business.
Yeah,
What I choose to spend my money
No,
on
absolutely,
is down to me.
absolutely.
So for other people to say, "Oh, don't subscribe, he's a bully, he's this, that, and the other," which is exactly what you're doing. I've seen this
Yeah,
man.
but the irony is they don't see it, do they? They don't
Yeah, but
know.
Dan-
They can't identify it in their own in self.
But
That's the
Dan,
problem.
I've seen this grown man. Oh, still there.
Yeah.
I had a bit of a technical issue then.
Oh, there you go. You're back again. 1, 3, 2, 1, back in the room.
So I've seen this grown man cry, absolutely reduced to tears. I've seen this man threaten to take his own life. And it's not just for social media. I've seen this guy absolutely disturbed, Dan.
Yeah,
And
I have. Yeah.
if this man does end up committing suicide, and he's not the only one, and there's plenty of other people out there, I just think that is absolutely disgusting. And I hold these people to account
Right. Do you
for
know
it.
what? I'm going to call it out now. I'm not going to name the person, but I'm going to call it out now. We went on an investigation some months ago now, Viv, and we went to Was it Lincolnshire?
Yeah.
It is, Terry. We went to Lincolnshire, and we ended up in a farm cottage. And
Yeah, exactly.
and your grandmother was absolutely right, Bill. Absolutely right. So we went on an investigation, and we were, it was kind of the lady to invite us on this investigation. So we turned up, and there were a few investigators in this building at the time, and we went in and we said our hellos and did, and we got talking to a particular couple who they're not the flavor of the month with a certain sector of people. Don't know why, because when we met them, they were perfectly polite to us, perfectly decent people, kind, accommodating, just friendly, everything you could want from someone, and unassuming. They weren't up themselves; they were unassuming. Now, they've got quite a big following, these people, and so me and Viv, we went live. Did we go live? We did go live.
No, they did. No, they did.
They went live, didn't they? And there was somebody who Viv and I thought of as a friend, who once they saw Viv and myself talking to this couple, they berated you, Viv, didn't they?
Oh,
and they cut us both loose on Facebook because we were seen speaking to the couple.
They said that they couldn't be my friend because I was friends with them.
Yeah.
And it's
exactly.
like, hang on, and you are my friend how? You're just somebody that is a Facebook friend. You're not my friend. You're a Facebook friend.
Well, do you know what, Viv? I'm sure you'll agree with me. That particular person who did it only wants to know you or me or whoever when there's something that he can get from it.
Yes, he did come to me and asked me if he could speak at my conference.
Yeah.
He did. And when I do conferences, people do come out of the woodwork. But, that's fine. That's fine. I really don't care. You're nobody.
And this is why we moved away from it, wasn't it? This is why we decided to cut ties with it. We're still friendly with people. We're still respectful. We always will be.
But
But
you
we're
know
never
what?
going to, if you pardon the pun, we're never going to get in bed with anybody again.
I will say something though, Dan. That particular night, when you were seen on their live, even their people were saying some horrible things.
They started on
Their
me.
watchers, they started on Dan, and this person, bless her, she did say she would cut the feed if they continue to do that, and she was telling mods to block people, which was lovely. And she not said it once; she said it 3 times.
Yeah, yeah.
And these are not people, I wouldn't call them friends as such. I don't know them personally. I know of them. I've never had bad interaction from them in any way, shape, or form. They've always been courteous and polite. And they are content creators, they are streamers.
Yeah,
So
they're
if that's
streamers.
what they want to do, that's all well and good. That's lovely. I haven't got an issue with that. And they treated us with nothing but respect. So
Yeah.
we gave them respect back again. And we met
Right.
them by accident that night. We didn't arrange to do
Well, we
it,
didn't
did
even
we,
know they were
Dan?
there, did we?
No. So yeah. So all this, I can't be your friend if you're their friend. You know what? If that's what you're going to tell me as a person, I'm strong enough to say, well, you know what? F you. See you later. There's the door. But
Yeah, but we know,
other people are not that strong though, Dan, are
but I
they?
know for a fact, Viv, that particular person's going to come crawling back within a year or so, because we've got something that they're going to want,
Yeah, well, they'll
and
get a
they can
few
go
choice
whistle,
words from me.
go whistle, you know.
So, right, let's see what's said in the comments. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, it
agreed.
is. It definitely is. Yeah,
But you know
definitely,
what,
Bill.
Bill? They're not even, I wouldn't even call them a friend. You know, it's just a Facebook acquaintance. They see what you're doing, want to be a part of it, and, you know, you sort of allow people in. You sort of trust people. I mean, today, I don't trust anyone. I can trust the people that are in my life that I trust in, count them on one hand. And my mother always had a saying. She said, never trust anyone apart from your mini moo, because that will never tell you any lies. That's what my mum used to tell me. It's true.
And that's it, though, isn't it? Really, I think that's it. It is, Terry. It is, and there's no need for it. There's no need for it because we're all out there trying to get the same objective. We got the same goal, and
Yeah.
and all we're doing, or all they're doing, is bickering and just withholding it. You know, they're holding it all back. They're pulling it
But
back.
Dan, it's the same in the UFO community, the cryptid community. It's all over. It's not just a paranormal thing.
No, no,
You know, and it's even in and take away like these genres, even just normal everyday life. I mean, I have a friend on Facebook, bless him, who committed himself into a mental institution, and he went live while he was doing it. And I've watched his story and his growth, and he's back in his flat, and he's produces and makes music and all the rest of it, and he gets a lot of grief for what he does as well. I've got nothing. I admire the guy. You know, he goes to the mental place when he has to. He goes and gets his chicken and chips on the way before he goes in because they don't feed him, he says. And, you know, it's, oh, bless him. He's such a lovely guy. And I
but I
admire
think that's
him.
the thing, isn't it? That's the thing. Just
It's
like, you
just
know,
life.
leave people. Just leave people. I couldn't be bothered to waste. I don't even know why would you waste the energy having a go with at someone, because I think that being like that, being that insular, being that angry, and being that nasty is a self-destruct button.
Yeah.
I think in the end, it will just the only person it will destroy is you.
Do you know what, Bill? That's true.
Exactly, Bill.
But if I was to call Dan at 2 a.m. and say him to come and bow me out, he'll say, naff off. I'm having
I would
a
know, because I'd
sleep.
just scream the call and go, "That's Viv's in Nick again.
He would.
Viv's been caught by the police again." Right? I'm not gonna go there.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
It does, Charles. Yeah, it
Yeah.
does, definitely. It definitely does. Yeah, and it's the best way, Terry. The best way, mate. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
exactly right, Matt.
yeah, absolutely, definitely,
Has anyone got any
definitely.
questions, or have they got a subject you want us to broach, or
It's got to be one we moan at, though.
one that we can moan about?
Yeah, no, it doesn't have to be one we can moan at. I'm just joking.
We like a good moan. Victor Meldrew and all that. I don't
We've had a
believe it!
good grumble this evening.
Yeah, we like to have a grumble from time to time. Dust the cobwebs. Airing
Exactly.
people's dirty linen in public, Dan. So I've noticed a couple of people within a paranormal team fell out and went their separate ways. And the next thing you know, it's all over Facebook, other people getting involved, turning it into some major melodrama because everyone loves a bit of drama. Must be
Yeah,
two
yeah.
people are arguing on Facebook. I sit quietly in the background, watch it going, and it's entertaining.
Get the popcorn.
Yeah, get a cup of tea.
Well, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, why do people feel the need to do that? It's pathetic. It's like children in a playground.
Just leave it, don't you? You just leave it. If you fall out with, and I don't think if you do go separate ways with somebody, do it on amicable terms. I mean, sometimes you can't, but if you can, just do it on amicable terms. Agree to disagree, and just go your own way. And because it's a small world, isn't it? The paranormal,
Dan,
and you're going to bump into these people again.
I had a split with someone a few years ago now. I had a split with someone, and it was done. Wasn't amicable with me, but as far as social media, all they needed to know was that we split, we'd gone our different ways, stuff that goes on behind the scenes, private and personal.
Yeah, yeah.
And both of us, when I say both of us, as far as I know, there was a couple of things that were said without naming me. It was just that, the generalised posts. And that was it, which is fine. And we've just gone our separate ways. We do our own thing, and that's it. And that's what I call grown-up people.
Yeah.
Other people.
Yeah, there's no need to drag it through for a public inquiry, is there?
I've seen other people put their dirty washing. Oh, she's done this or he's done that. I can't be friends with them. Blah 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 blah. They stole money. I paid for this.
And then you get the factions that take sides, which they think they're helping, but they're really not.
It makes
it making things worse. It becomes divisive, doesn't it? And you end up with one faction arguing with another faction, and before you know where you're meant to be moving forward with each other because of that point, that objective that you've got, which is to find out if the life beyond death. To get evidence and to produce it and show people. You're never going to do that if you're in-house fighting all the time.
Oh, can you imagine if these people all had guns? Oh my God, it'd be a bloodbath, wouldn't there?
Yeah. I think, to be honest with you, they're all mouth, a lot of them. I don't think they'd actually do anything push come to shove. I think they just argue behind a keyboard.
Well, this is the question we all need.
That's the question, Bill. That's the question. And if there is, what is it? I mean, I believe in it, but I can't prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what, Terry? Exactly. Yeah, exactly, Brian. It is.
Do you know what? It's that bully that loads the gun.
Best way, Brian. Stay civil.
Gets somebody else to fire it, and then they start pleading the victim, the person that loaded the gun.
Yeah, yeah.
Does that make sense? That's what I see.
Yeah.
I see that. I used to see that in my kids. My kids used to do that.
But that exactly, kids. It's a childish thing to do, It's what we did, Viv, wasn't it? It's what we did. I don't. There's a lot of people out there in this field, that are lovely. A lot of lovely people. There's a lot of lovely people in the world, but there's arseholes as well.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's a big smattering of arseholes amongst the decent people. And, you see them rallying. When they fall out with somebody else, they'll rally. They'll rally
Yeah.
around everybody else, try and get them on side, you know. And I must admit, over the years ago, I fell into that. I fell into, you know, doing that. Yeah,
I think a ghost is of energy, but energy
yeah.
is not necessarily a ghost.
No, I think for me, a ghost is something that, like a memory, like a place memory, something that.
Yeah, but Dan, those things we saw,
But
them
like Bill
four,
says, yeah, spirit, energy.
those
What? Oh
them
yeah, no,
four things.
yeah, they were. Yeah,
Oh,
that was freaky. That was freaky, but
that would
that
be
was
another
bloody
show.
interesting. That was interesting. It is overrated. It is. It definitely is. But there are some ways that you need to grow up. Unfortunately, I grew up and then stopped and then started growing out. Yeah, best way, Terry. Best way, mate. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, don't have, you know, you can have disagreements with people. Don't fall out with people. It's not worth it. You know, it's friendships are bloody hard to. Good friendships are hard to find. And when you got people that you think the world of, you stay friendly with them.
When I started in this paranormal field, there was no internet. There
No,
was
same
no
here.
there was no social media. There
Same
was
here.
no there was no websites
Cars.
and things like that. We
No cars.
would go to the park
No electricity.
or the graveyard. No, we're not that old.
Oh,
Go to the graveyard, or we'd go into people's houses. You know, people that needed help within their homes and things like that. And we had nothing digital, no digital recorders. They
no,
didn't exist.
no, it was all analog, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It
and
was all analog.
you'd have these torches. I don't even know if you can get them still, but you know the little torches with the big round flash head at the front that you'd have to
Yeah,
change the light, the bulb in the middle. We'd have to
Ever ready,
change
weren't
it.
they? They were ever ready. I remember
Oh,
them.
that took those thick round batteries. Oh,
And if you went out on an investigation, you had like, because I had one of the first ones I had was years and years ago. Dictaphones weren't really a thing. I mean, they were there, but they weren't that great. But I had the you know, like
cassette recorder,
the analog cassette was like about that big,
the thick one.
Thick.
Yeah.
And that was like you drag it round you.
Oh God, that was
Don't know
funny.
they're
They were the
born.
days.
Don't know they're
They
born
were
now.
the days. And you know what? I remember getting called and doing going to a graveyard. I got called to a graveyard to investigate. And it was me and my friend. I took the wrong friend. I took one of my friends that was a girl. So we was there about 10:30 at night, not too late, you know. And the what do you call him? The caretaker of the graveyard, he was there because normally they lock the gates, but the gates were left open for us. So we were in there doing our investigation, and all of a sudden my friend starts screaming and runs out of the graveyard. And of course I've had to grab all the equipment, and it was bulky in those days, and run out after her because she'd seen this figure in there and it was coming after her and it was chasing us. And it was quite bad, really. I mean, because she made me feel worse.
Did she actually see it, did she? Or was she?
Yeah, she made me feel scared. But what it turned out to be the caretaker who had popped in. He was making sure that we were okay. He said, the next day, he said, I see you two running out. He said, I wondered if there was something wrong. We did go back and finish our work, but it was just funny. Like having to grab the equipment that was big and bulky, and I've got it, you know, all in my hands, sort of trying to run and not tread on the graves.
And there were, I don't think there was that many of us around in them days, was there?
No.
There's a handful of people that I knew. That was it. But then maybe there was more that they didn't know because of the internet. I don't know, but maybe. Well, they don't allow me to do that, Chantal. Drive, that's about it.
Hey, I'm not that old. Dan might be, but I'm not.
Chalk.
I'm the baby of the team.
Talcum powder and black paper, or a black bin bag and talcum powder with 4 weights.
What was the first piece of equipment you used?
Me, or you, or both of us. For me, it was String with Bells.
Was it?
Yeah. String with Bells, which they don't use anymore, which is a shame because I think that they were a good bit of kit. I might bring them back. I might reintroduce them. Yeah, a string with like several little bells on it, and then you just pin it across where you thought there was movement.
See, see, that's a difficult question for me because I had interactions with spirit when I was very young, but as a paranormal investigator, I'll answer this question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first piece of equipment I used as a paranormal investigator was a Ouija board.
Like, yeah.
Everybody hates them.
Ah, thank you.
Don't work too hard.
Well, take it easy and stay safe.
Yeah, get in touch.
Have a great week and stay safe, and definitely get in touch, and we'll speak to you soon. Thanks very much for watching. That's it. That was the one Sony cassette recorder. That was it, Bill. That was it. I remember those were the days.
Yes.
Those were the days, Chantal. Those were the days.
I still use 8mm tape.
Yeah. I've caught some. Do you know what? 8mm. The 8mm tapes. What's the one that the video one?
8mm.
Whatever it is good. Yeah, they are good, Terry. Yeah, they're good. I've caught some good evidence on those.
Silicone tape.
Yeah, it's recorded. It's like a normal tape, like a normal tape. Yeah. Dan was in a coffin. Put him back in there.
Baby powder, Charles.
Yeah, baby powder.
Candle.
Yeah. Talc as well. I use talc as well. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. VHS. Yeah.
So, any other fakery or anything you want to talk about, Dan? Or
I don't know. Yeah, something that does pee me off. I'm lucky because the people I've worked with haven't done it, but I have seen it with teams that people that I've worked with properly haven't done it, but I've been with certain teams that have done it, and that is when you come out of an area early hours of the morning. No respect for the people that live around the venue that you're going to. Yes. So making noise, shouting, screaming, and even in the venue, if you've got houses adjacent to it, just screaming and shouting and making noise. Because, you don't know. People have to get to sleep. They've got to go to work in the morning. They might have children. They might not be very well. And I just think apart from anything else, it's just bloody disrespectful.
Yeah, it's rudeness.
It's rude. If you're going to go to an investigation, go there. Be respectful of not just the people that you're investigating, not the spirit. Yeah, exactly, but also the people that live in the vicinity.
Yeah,
it's just a courtesy, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
And it annoys me. That does annoy me, and I've seen that on a couple of occasions. I've seen it.
Do you know what annoys?
They've been shouting and stuff, and it's like.
Do you know what annoys me as well, Dan? Is I've seen event companies that have people in, and even paranormal teams that go into a place or a museum and then want to start touching all the exhibits. And these are these so-called medium. I'm going to do a bit of psychometry, and so they'll pick the exhibit up. So this is a big no for me, because you don't know how much that thing is worth.
Yeah.
Does your insurance cover it? They think, I've got 3 million insurance, that'll cover it,
But some of them items you can't replace.
No, if you're picking up a fossil or a bone or a skull or I'm pulling these things out of the air, or a painting. Some of the paintings are worth millions.
Or something that it might not be priceless monetary wise, but it could be priceless as an heirloom. Don't touch anything. It really annoys me. And I've seen that as well. I've seen people do that, and other people, like somebody calls you to go into a property to investigate it and to help them find answers. You know, I always say, might not be able to remedy it, but I will try and get you the answers if I can. But if I can't remedy it, I'll get you somebody that can help you. Maybe they can
But
do it, you know.
we had a friend of ours was talking about somebody on his old team that put a vest on. Do you remember? And then they took photographs. They went into a World War II place, put a vest on, took photographs, put them on social media, and then the team had their hands wrapped. They didn't even know that this guy had done it. So what I'm saying is nobody should be touching anything. The museum or the venue has given... They've let you in as a paranormal team, and they've respected you and allowed you access all areas. And then if you abuse it like that, they're going to close their doors. Yeah. So it's just having respect, as Bill says, respect all the time. Respect.
Well, you know yourself, Viv, it takes a long time to get a good name, but it takes 2 seconds to lose it.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Harriet's fault. Yeah. I think it was me and Terry that saw that once with the team.
That's true.
Around screaming.
Bri, that's true.
Yeah, exactly, Bri. Exactly.
And if there's no one there to ask before touching something, don't touch it at all.
Don't touch it. You know, 9 times out of 10, the people will say, "Yeah, okay, that's fine." But if they don't want you to, don't.
Yeah.
You know, it's awful. And yeah, that person had to be told, didn't they, on investigations, don't do this, don't touch that, don't go near this. And I think if you got somebody like that, they're gone. You can't.
Well,
they're gone.
Recently, Dan and I went. Well, last year we went on an investigation, tail end of the year, at a Curiosities Museum. And in this Curiosities Museum was a Victorian mortuary table. Okay.
It was very cool.
Royal Doulton, worth thousands, and I mean thousands. Couldn't replace it.
No.
I would have been horrified if one of the members of our team had chipped it, broke it, touched it, you know, in a way that I just wouldn't want to think about it, you know, Dan.
No.
You know, and even some of the exhibits in there. I mean, he had a torso of a human being, a torso, so no head, missing from the elbows down and from the knees down. But other than that, it was a human being. It was
intact, wasn't it? Yeah,
mummified and intact. Now, I was there, and luckily for us, it wasn't our team, but a member of a guest of the owner, if you like, had gotten drunk and fallen on top of it. I thought this thing had broken, and this person, this mummy, again, worth thousands and thousands. I couldn't even afford to buy it, let alone, you know. So again, watching other people's belongings or museum items, or even just the venue itself, just have some respect.
Yeah.
Slamming doors. Don't slam a door. You don't need to, you know. Anyway,
No, I agree.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Again.
Yeah, exactly, Bill, yeah.
I have a baby.
Exactly.
Do you want to see my baby fetus? Shall I show them?
Go for it.
Hang on. I'm going to turn my heater off as well.
So this is what Viv bought from, I think it's the one that it's the one she got from the place that we investigated, because the guy was selling stuff as well, artifacts and stuff. And the warehouse itself, it wasn't a warehouse, was it? It was part of a warehouse. Must have been hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of stuff in there.
There he is. That's my fetus. It's a fetus of a pig. In case you're wondering.
And those are the type of things that he had. He had like a lot of human remains in there as well. Skulls and stuff, and femurs and all sorts of full skeletons. The lot. Pickled bits of people. Pickled people.
Pickled people.
No,
yeah.
they don't, Terry. Oh wow, that's quite interesting.
Oh,
that's interesting.
I want to get a human skull. I will get one eventually, but right now I won't. And it's like you, Dan. But I don't just want to buy one because I can have one. I want one with certificates, and it has to be a medical skull.
Oh yeah.
And I want to work with it, so not just have one because I can. I just want one because, to work with it and to become sort of friendly with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's still a person, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, any other gripes, Dan?
Yeah, I have. I don't think we've got 18 hours, have we? No, I think that's about it, really, for the paranormal. I think that's about it, really. Anything? You got anything, Viv?
I could go on and on and on and on. But the biggest one, a big one for me is having respect for other fellow paranormal investigators when you're actually working. For example, there might be people in the next room to you trying to do an EVP session. The last thing they're going to need are for people running up and down hallways, screaming and shouting at spirit, raising their voice. Can you step forward and give me your name? There's no need for any of that.
They're not deaf. That's the thing,
exactly.
Isn't it?
And also be mindful to the spirit themselves. You talk to them how you would talk to a fellow human being.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't say to Dan, would you step forward and give me your name? I'd say, all right, my name's Viv.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Yeah.
It's just using common sense. And a lot of people tend to lose common sense and have no respect.
Yeah.
So that's a little gripe that I have.
Yeah, myself and Terry went with the team. I'm sure it was Terry.
Yes, exactly.
And we were doing an investigation at the fault. Yeah. It's annoying, that one, isn't it? And there's team members of this team running around screaming their heads off. And the person that invited us to it was embarrassed, and she told us that she was embarrassed. And they were running around this fault, screaming and shouting and jumping out on each other. And we were trying to do a proper investigation there, but you can't. All bets are off, do you know? And it could have been a good night. And it was ruined, totally ruined.
Mm.
And it was a couple of hours away. Not far, but 2 hours.
Yeah.
Fuel, paid towards the investigation to get the venue, and then they went and done that. And it just... and this is inexperience. I don't even know if it's inexperience. It's just stupidity.
I'd send them a bill, Dan. I would have sent them a bill saying, that's to cover the costs of my petrol, my ticket, whatever, because you ruined it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
It's not fair.
And I think that was that me and you, Terry? I'm sure that was me and you that went on that one. But yeah, we could go on, couldn't we? Really,
we could.
On and on and on.
So, what are we going to talk about next week?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't thought that. Anybody out there got any ideas what they'd like to talk about next week?
People are nicely asked to. Do you know what, Bill? I used to work in a pub. I used to work in a pub.
Yeah.
Your kind of bar, like a bar. And I used to throw drunkards and people that used to fight. I used to throw them out the door and lock the door behind them. So people that are rude and nasty or hurt somebody else or attack somebody else while investigating, I will manhandle them and march them off the property. I'm not scared to do that. I've done that
No.
all my working life. So yeah. So they will get manhandled by me. Let's also just say that. Oh, quickly, another gripe. Dan, people that use the paranormal as a way of touching, molesting, and pulling
Oh,
girls. Oh, just quickly, because I've been
I've
on
seen it.
lives.
I've
I've been
seen
on
it.
lives. I've had people say some really bad things to me on a live that I've had to stop the live and restart it, block them and then restart it. In a rude, not rude way, but like in a sexual way.
They perverts. They use it as a gateway, don't they? A lot of them.
Oh,
They use
and
it as a
paranormal.
gateway because there's a lot of women in this field,
Oh, Dan, the
and of course
porn
it's a
that we
dark
get,
room.
the porn that we get sent to us on social media. Oh my God, like some of the films that I've been sent, and then I go on their wall, I find them, and then I repost it to their wall. So if their wives or friends are
Yeah,
watching,
yeah, yeah,
they're
yeah,
gonna get
yeah.
it back. But oh
I
my
find that
God,
there's a lot of guys that get involved in this. I mean, there's a lot of guys that don't. But there's a lot of guys that get involved in this because there's a lot of women involved in it, and you can find yourself in the dark with certain women. And it starts out with joviality. It starts out with being a bit of a gimmick, and then all of a sudden, you know, the girl might reciprocate by having a laugh back, and then they misread it, and the next thing you know, the girls come to you and like, he's touched me, or he's done this, or he's done that, and you think, that's it, they're gone. You can't have that shit.
yeah,
You can't have
yeah.
that shit.
It's not
That's the,
like,
you know, of all the things
if
that's the, you
if
know,
they
no.
if they want porn, if they want stuff, just stick to RedTube. Just you know, just don't. Like with me, somebody touched me once in an inappropriate place, and they got that, and they were warned. I'll let you have that one, but next time I'll knock you the fuck out. You know. Sorry for swearing there.
I got
Um,
touched by a gay ghost once.
yeah, but Ghost is all right.
That was all right. It didn't bother me.
Ghost is all right,
It's
but
nice
not.
to know you wanted.
Yeah, but not the living, not the living. Now,
No,
come on.
no, you don't do that. No, and that's what I'm always wary and aware of that, because I've met some. Don't get me wrong, most of the blokes are decent fellas, but I've met some proper creeps,
Yeah,
and you know what they are from the first time you meet them. You know what they are, and it's like predatory. It's
it
like
is.
they scan the area and they go around. You watch them and you can see them. They try and get close to pretty girls, and or even any girl. You know, they try and get close to a girl, and then it's like, as I say, the joking starts, and then they start to get a little bit handsy, and it's like, no, we can't
Yeah.
have that crap.
I have done. I have done. Trust me, I have done.
Yeah, you can't have that. Well, you can't have that. You just can't. Yeah, it's the only way, Bill.
That's me.
And me, if I get frightened,
Yeah.
yeah, UFOs, yeah.
Terry, I
Reckon,
knew it.
Viv?
We should. Terry was stopped sending me porn.
Yeah, come on, Terry. There can't be two of us doing it.
No, it's not a
It goes to
Terry.
go wank.
Oh dear. All right then. So next week, I think I've come up with a theme is animals. So people like whisperers, ghostly animals, people that work with animals on a psychic level or on a mediumship level. Animals, just animals in general. And I say animals just because you used to be a zoo man.
Many years I was a
So
zookeeper.
tales of hauntings involving animals, and it's quite interesting because there are quite a few out there that people don't really know about. And
It's really
yeah,
weird. I'll tell you about it next week, but the only experience I had with a spirit of an animal was with, of all the wild animals I've worked with over the years, literally thousands of them I've cared for, was my dog. When I was a kid, I had this dog, and that was the experience. The only experience I had with an animal was that. But I have got a friend who's got Yes, Terry. Yes, yeah. Yes, you're right. I forgot about that. Yes. Me and Terry did an investigation at Amherst, and there was a dog there, and it was I could feel it licking my ear and stuff, and you could hear it and stuff. It was that was me and Terry in one of the rooms, one of the guard rooms there. That was interesting. Yeah, that was interesting.
So we'll do the animal thing then, Dan, next week,
Yeah,
because
animals.
this is where we'll have the crossover with the demon, because a lot of people think that when they're scratched, it's a demon, and it's not. 9 times out of 10, it's animal.
Yeah.
Or themselves. So,
yeah.
Any questions before we wind this up? Anybody want to ask us anything, or we'll give him a few minutes to, in case there's a delay. There normally is.
I'm looking forward to the animal one. That'd be interesting. And if you guys have got any stories, let us know. Let us know what interactions you've had with animal spirits.
I've got my little animal here, my little piggy.
You have Percy, isn't it?
Percy Pig.
Percy Pig.
I don't know what that is, though. I think it's a mouse, is it?
I would guess I'd say it was a skull.
Of a mouse? Of a rodent?
No, just a skull.
You're terrible, Dan.
Well, you are awful, but I do like you.
Oh, I'll do that to you when I next see you. You'll fall over. Anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about in America, look for Dick Emery as a YouTube. I'll put it on.
I loved him as a kid.
Dick.
Very clever man. Very clever
Dick Emery, comedian. There we go.
Old school comedy. You wouldn't be allowed to do it now.
My favourite is Kenny Everett.
You wouldn't be allowed to do it now. That's the thing, isn't it? You'd be allowed anywhere near that now, that sort of comedy.
I've got some of my American friends addicted to Kenny Everett. They love him. Kenny
Everett's great. Or he was, bless him.
Oh, we got a question.
Oh. That's Viv.
Dan didn't go because he's broken his foot. He's got a boot on and he's waiting to get the okay from a surgeon before he's out and about again. So it was just myself and Tony brought his friend Diane, and we went to the place where the scary things happened. It was okay. We didn't get it. It felt completely different. And then we went on to another venue, and it was quite interesting because we heard, not once but twice, we heard a very large number of people, which sounded like a lot of men charging. We heard it twice. So we're hoping that equipment picked it up. Lots of hits. Very old place. Built just over 1,000 years old. So that's all I'm going to say at this stage. But yeah, we did. We were very spoiled when it came to activity in the second venue. The activity was off the scale.
Good.
But we didn't see what we wanted to see, and we did see big cat footprints as well in a place we wouldn't expect to see them. So yeah, weird place, but a great place. So yeah. It's an interesting one. Cold. We wrapped it up early, but yeah, very, very.
But you got what you went for, didn't you? Which was which is good.
Yeah.
You got activity, which is great, which is absolutely brilliant. And hopefully Tony's caught the audio, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So he's got to go through that, he was saying, but hopefully he'd have caught it.
Tony's our member of. Tony was our friend at. Our friend. Tony's our third member of Striking Midnight.
Yeah, he's a lovely fellow, Tony.
Yes, we have.
Yes, Bri, we have. Yeah. It's an interesting place.
What is it near? It's near Downham Market.
Downham Market. Downham Market. Again, sorry if you're American, you won't get that. It's a song over here. It was, and Downham Market sounds like so. Well, you know,
is it called Down the Market? Is it called Down the Market?
Down the Market. I can't remember. I can't remember. It was Chaz and Dave, wasn't it? Chaz and Dave, which were like
I've put it in the comments. So if you wanna have a look at that, Down the Market, Chaz and Dave, you can have a look at that. Right, so we're going to wrap things up now.
Thanks, everybody.
Next week we're talking about animals. We'll be on the Things Network at 7:00 next Tuesday. But if you can't wait for your fix of Viv and Dan, we are on the Simply Spooky Network tomorrow night at 8:00.
We are indeed.
We have a guest, don't we, Dan?
We do, all the way from Holland.
And what's her name? Mary Williamson.
Yeah. I can't. Do you know what? I can't. Yeah,
Mary,
something like that.
I'm pronouncing it Williamson.
You know her, don't you? Or you know what you? She's a friend of yours on Facebook.
Yeah,
isn't she?
She's a lovely lady. You will love her.
So she's a medium, isn't she, Viv?
I think she's a bit of a medium. She's a paranormal investigator. She also looks after the European territory for the Things Network.
There you go. So
perfect. Great lady, great lady,
and a busy woman by the sound of it.
She is. So
look forward to getting her perspective on all things spiritual, ghostly, and all things Dutch.
Yes. So hopefully you can join us tomorrow night. If not, we hope that you can join us next week on Tuesday at 7:00, and we'll talk about the animal thing then. But thank you for joining us in the chat.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. Stay safe. Take care. If you don't come on tomorrow, we'll see you next week. Cheers.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, all. Bye.